I lost over 125 pounds in 6 months, and I've kept that weight off now for over 22 years. I was only 19 when I lost my weight. Now I'm in my early 40s. And what I want to talk about today is 5 different ways to motivate you to lose weight. If you're in a position where you need to lose weight and you tried and somehow you just can't make it stick, I'm going to talk to you today about 5 different ways that you can get yourself motivated. And it's going to be a little different for everybody, but chances are you'll relate to one of these 5 different ways and you'll be able to kind of stick to that and use that as your motivation to continue to do what's necessary to lose weight. This isn't a video necessarily about the do's and don'ts and the tricks and tips about how to lose weight. I have plenty of videos. Go to my channel and check those out. But this is something to get you kind of motivated. What is it that you can do to stay motivated for the long haul to make sure that you get healthier and that you lose some weight and that you can optimize your entire life? Because everything gets better when you lose weight. The first of 5 reasons is vanity. Look, we all want to look good. And so depending on your age, you want to look good. You want to feel good about your body. And it's okay to get healthy. It's okay to want to lose fat, to get 6-pack abs, to get bigger biceps, to look good at the beach, to go to a pool party and take off your shirt and feel confident with yourself, to fit into that old pair of jeans or that old dress. It's okay to use vanity as kind of that carrot that is kind of motivating you to say, you know what, I really want to get healthy because when I go to this pool party or when I go on this vacation, I want to look good and I want to feel good. What I want you to do is throughout these 5 different tips I'm going to give you on how to stay motivated, you need to meet yourself wherever you're at. And so there is no one trick that's going to work for everybody. Everyone's a little different. Everyone has different motivations. And so you have to find what your real motivation is, and you have to try to grab onto that and hold on to it so that you can continue to lose weight and continue to do the things necessary. I'll give you an example. When I was losing weight, what I would do is I knew that I was going to continue to lose weight. So I would go to the store and I would buy a pair of jeans that was maybe one size smaller than where I was. So I started at a 40, I was fitting kind of tight into a 42-inch waist jeans. When I was first, I was 297 pounds at my heaviest. This was over 22 years ago. And what I did was I knew that I was losing weight. And when I was able to fit into a 38, what I did was I said, you know what, I'm going to go to the store and I'm going to buy a 36, right? The one size down. And then I was able to fit into a 36. And when I went to the closet and I was able to fit into a 36, I felt so amazing. It felt so good. It felt like such a great accomplishment. I said, you know what? I'm going to go buy a size 34 pants. And so I kept myself motivated like that. And it was like this little trick, instead of buying a large, I'm going to buy a medium shirt. Instead of buying a medium, I'm going to buy a medium, but I'm going to buy a medium slim fit or something. Like that's literally what was going through my head as I was losing weight was I'm going to continue to get better and I'm going to continue to meet these small little goals that are getting me excited. Why? Because I was 19 when I lost weight. I didn't have a girlfriend. I wanted to look good. I had specific reasons that motivated me at that time. And so vanity is a perfectly okay reason to start your journey. At the end of the day, with any of these tips on how to stay motivated that I go through today, you're going to eventually fall back on a couple that are good for life. But if there's one specific one that's going to pull you in and it's going to get you really motivated and get you to start and get you to meet your goals, then you might as well grab onto that. So the first one is vanity. It's okay to want to just look better and feel good. You're not being superficial by doing that. What you're doing is essentially latching on to something that you know is important to you at this point in your life, and you're just going with it and you're using it to stay motivated. The second thing is overall health. You might be in a situation, and a lot of the people that I work with as a coach are above 35, above 40, and so they might have something like a fatty liver disease, right? They went to their doctor, they saw some blood work, and the doctor said, look, you've got this, you've got that, you're borderline type 2 diabetic. Like there's many health reasons why you may say, all right, I need to get healthy. And if that's a motivating factor, then use that as a motivating factor to get yourself healthy. Think about that every time you need to do the hard stuff and the sacrifices, because it's hard to be healthy. It's also hard to be unhealthy. And I would say it's probably harder to be unhealthy. So you get to pick whichever hard you want. So regardless, it's going to be hard. You might as well go the safe route and get healthier. So if you've had a health scare, I hope you're okay, first of all. But second of all, use that as motivation. If you're young and you want to be, it's the vanity thing, then and you just went through a divorce and you want to, whatever, you want to look good, then use the vanity thing. If it's number 2, health, and you had a health scare, use health to make sure that you get into the best shape of your life. The third thing that I want to talk about is longevity. You might be at a place where you're like, you know what? This is something very popular these days. I want to just live longer. I want to do things that are going to help me so that I'm in a certain state in health, 10, 20, 30, 40 years. I want to be healthy when I'm 70. I want to be healthy when I'm 80. That's a really good reason. Now, that is more of a long-term thing. And so you have to be the kind of person that is motivated by long-term results. And so you have to understand that what you do today is going to make sure that you feel a certain way 5, 10, 15, 20 years from now. But longevity is a really good way to change small little habits throughout your day. So if you're really interested in biohacking and what all these kids are doing these days where they want to fast and they want to do this, whatever it takes, if it's making you healthier, then go for it. Whether it's longevity, whether it's anything else, just go for it. If that's what you're after and it's going to make you make better decisions, then that's a great reason. Again, we're going to go back to the underlying theme of this whole video, which is you're going to find whatever it is that you're interested in right now in your life, right now in this moment, and you're going to find that thing and you're going to latch onto it and you're going to use that as your motivating factor to make sure that you continue to do the things you need to do day in and day out. And in this case, if it's longevity, then good for you. Go find out, do research, use AI, use ChatGPT, and go find ways that you can be better about your longevity. It's going to make you healthier. The fourth thing I want to talk about is kids and or family or both. So a lot of people that I talk with and that I coach have a family. And so they're not only trying to get healthy for themselves, they want to be healthy enough so that when their kids are 15, 20 years old and they're running around and they're playing sports, that they can be out there with them. They don't want to just be sitting in a rocking chair on the sidelines when they have kids or grandkids. They want to be around and they want to be healthy and they want to be mobile. Maybe they want to travel when they're older with their kids. Anything that you want to do with your kids, as your kids get older, you're also getting older. And so you have to make sure that you maintain strength, that you lose some weight, all of this extra weight. If you're carrying around just 20 extra pounds, that's a lot of extra pressure on all of your joints, your knees, your feet, everything. Everything is carrying a lot more weight. And if you don't know what this feels like and you need to lose 20 pounds and you don't think it's that big of a deal, I would advise you to go to the gym or go to your gym, wherever you go, and pick up a 20-pound dumbbell and picture yourself walking around for the rest of the day with that 20-pound dumbbell. It's not as easy as it sounds. You're going to want to sit down after a while and put it on your lap because you're going to be tired. You're carrying around extra weight, that means it's hurting your chances of being healthy in the future, even if it is 10 or 20 pounds. Again, do the dumbbell test. Pick up however much weight it is that you want to lose, go to that dumbbell size, pick that up and try to think about carrying that, or put on a weighted vest, and think about carrying that weight for the rest of the day, much less the rest of your life. So if kids and family is your motivating factor and you want to do it not only for yourself, but for other people, then that's a great reason also. You want to be healthy for your kids. As your kids get older, you want to be able to continue to run around with them and play sports with them, maybe coach them, travel with them, go skiing with them. Anything that you want to do in the future with your kids, you got to think about what you need to do today to be able to put yourself in a position to be able to keep up with them when they're older, because you're going to be a lot older than them. So you have to do the things today to make sure that you're able to stick with them in the future. The next thing I want to talk about is performance. Now, you might be into sports. You might be a little younger and you might be playing high school sports. You might be playing college sports, or you just might be in one of these rec leagues and you want to just be really good at performance, or you want to, run marathons like I used to do. I used to run marathons. I ran 5 full marathons. And I used to be into performance, at a certain point where I wanted to just work on my time and get better. If performance is something that you want to get better at, then getting healthier, losing some weight is going to help you to perform better. So this is another one of those things that you can use and say, all right, I want to drop, like in my case, I remember my first marathon was 5 hours and 20 minutes, I think. My second marathon was 5 hours and 5 minutes. When I ran my third marathon, I had a goal of cutting it to under 4 hours. So that meant knocking off an hour and 5 minutes off of my best time. And I did it. I actually finished my third marathon, was in Chicago. It was in 2014, I believe. And I finished that race in 3 hours, 59 minutes, and 54 seconds or something. I beat it by 6 seconds, but I did it. Why? I focused on performance. And so that made me get healthier. That made me do the things that I needed to do to pick up my pace, to do all of the little necessary things that I needed to do to make sure my diet was right, to make sure that I dialed in my nutrition and my electrolytes and things like that. So performance drove me to be better and to be healthier in that case. And so if you have something that you want to perform better at, you might want to perform better at work. You might be a busy professional like the people I work with, and you might finally start to realize that if I drink less, if I eat healthier, if I work out, I'm a lot better in terms of like my mind. I have better verbal fluency, and I just perform better at work. My presentations are better, and I make more money. You might realize that. So it's not only performance in sports, it could be performance at work. It could be performance in the bed with your spouse. It could be, sexual performance. It could be a lot of different types of performance. But if you want to perform better and you want to optimize what you're doing, then that's a really, really great reason to focus in and dial in your diet, your nutrition, your workouts, your recovery, your sleep, things like that. Everything matters. Dialing in your stress. How do you manage your stress? All of these things matter, and if you want to perform optimally, then you have to focus on all of these things one by one. The last thing that I want to talk about is girls and boys. If you are a recent person that's been divorced, or if you are single and you just want to get healthy because you want to attract the right woman or attract the right man, that's a perfectly good reason to stay motivated, to work out, to stay motivated, to lose weight. There's no better reason than someone who just got divorced and wants to get back into the market and start to date. And that'll make you start to want to lose weight if you need to lose weight, or start to get healthier, start to really focus on yourself. Use that as a motivating factor. It's okay again. This goes a little bit into the vanity thing that we talked about in the beginning, because you're just trying to look better for other people. But do it for yourself so that you can feel better, because someone that feels good and is taking care of their body and looks good and feels good, that confidence is going to show through, and it's going to be so much easier, and you're going to attract the right kind of people. Whether you're a single male or female, you're going to attract the right kind of people when you're confident inside. And the way that you get confident inside is by optimizing your health, eating right, working out, being strong, being resilient, getting good sleep, getting good recovery, just feeling at your best. If you do the things to feel at your best, then you're going to be more confident, and it's going to be easier to meet the right kind of person that's going to be with you for a lifetime. So if you're looking for, your partner, you're looking for boys, looking for girls, whatever it is, that's a perfectly good reason to stay motivated to lose weight. That person that's sitting across from you is going to sense that confidence. They're going to sense that person that you are. You take care of yourself. You're well taken care of. You take care of your health. You take care of your body. You come across as someone who's incredibly confident in themselves, comfortable in their own skin. That's the way that you find the right partner. So hopefully these are helpful for you. You can latch on to any of these. At the end of the day, as you grow older, whether you're in your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, as you grow older and you mature, the reasons why you want to get healthy are going to change. And that's okay. Think about where you are today and think about what's important for you, and just meet yourself where you're at today. That's the trick to all of these different ones. You can come up with a few different reasons that I didn't even bring up on this video, but meet yourself wherever you are today and use that as motivation to get healthy. If you need some help in terms of getting healthy, I do coaching, as well as I do have a fat loss course. Click in the description and you'll see both links there. One of them is for coaching and the other one is for if you want to do it yourself kind of thing. I do have a fat loss course. It goes into mindset and mental models. It goes into nutrition. It goes into fitness. It goes into how to keep the weight off after you've lost it. So everything that you would ever need. And then I'm always adding to it, so you'll have access to it as I continue to add stuff to it. So if you don't know where to get information, that's a really good place to start, is a fat loss course. If you feel like you need a little more accountability, I work with professionals, busy moms and dads, people that are always busy flying around, and they want to get healthier. They want to lose 20 to 30 pounds, in about a 90-day period, and they don't know how to, and they need some motivation, some accountability, then maybe the coaching is a good option for you. Again, both links are in the description. Go in there, check them out. And then the last thing is, if you just want a free letter from me every single Saturday morning, I do send out a newsletter. It's absolutely free. You can find that in the link in the description as well. And as a little added bonus, when you sign up for my newsletter, you do get my 28-page nutrition guide, which is full of You know, I bust myths in there. I tell you what you should be focusing on with nutrition, what really doesn't matter that much, and how to really just get healthier in terms of a nutrition perspective. So it's 28 pages packed of really good information that I've learned over, 20 plus years of doing this myself. Hope you enjoyed the video. Like, subscribe, do all that fun stuff, and I'll see you on the next one. Cheers.